Hi guys, welcome to Taylor Talk. So now I'm going to take a little look at Alex is shook. I'm not doing well, so let's take a look at what Alex has been up to.
Alex here, welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I thought I would do something a little bit different, kind of like a mini life update situation type deal. Now I try to keep things mostly positive on my channel.
Yeah, he is a very positive YouTuber, and usually he doesn't really talk about himself. It's usually girl world and different fitness and big YouTube influencers, and I mean like big as in overweight,
Channel, or at least like messy
and like the body positivity movement and things like that.
and fun, but I just feel like behind that recently I've been going through it, and I debated about whether I wanted to even come on and share this, but if I can reach somebody out there that's maybe going through a similar situation, then I guess something positive could come out of all of the negativity. But I just feel so like my depression has been so bad lately. No matter what I do, I just feel like I have absolutely no energy, and I have so many
I wonder, is he seeing someone?
video ideas that I have like even written down in a notebook, but when it comes to sitting down and like writing up these scripts, it has just become so hard. And also
I get it. If you don't have passion for it at the time, then you may feel a little flat. Like, and sometimes, YouTubers write pages and pages of scripts.
has to do a little bit with my ADHD and not being able to focus and getting so distracted, especially when you're looking through social media, like looking for a story, but then you end up looking at the shorts feed for like 3 hours.
And you go down a rabbit hole. And before you know it, you're on H3, and then next you're on, Kiana Doherty. Rabbit holes.
And come up short with absolutely nothing. But anyways, that's not really the root of why I feel this way. I just feel really lonely. And I saw this video, this person like coming forward and saying like, as a man, like they're so lonely. And it hit kind of home, because it's like you're walking down the street, right? And it's almost a privilege, but it's also lonely as well. Nobody ever says anything to you. I don't know if you guys have this experience. Most of my viewers are female, so I understand like walking down the street getting catcalled. Like obviously that's not an ideal situation, and being frightened of the people around you is not an ideal situation either. But also being ignored by literally everybody you come across, and it's almost like one of those situations where the person at the fast food counter is like rude to you, and it ruins your whole day just because it's like,
oh, that's terrible. I mean, if they are rude, think about going to the manager. I mean, sometimes it's not always a Karen move. If they're rude,
why me? Why are you angry with me? But it's not personal. I'm just tired of seeing the same things and doing the same things. Like, I've lived in this town. It's like a small city. I've lived here for pretty much.
Is he like itching to get out, or is he just bored?
My whole life. There was a couple of years where I lived.
I wonder if his friends know like how he's feeling right now.
In Philadelphia, but for the most part I've been living here, and you just get tired of seeing the same things, and it just gets boring, I guess you could say. Loneliness. And I just feel like I have no purpose. I don't know. I've just been into this like existential crisis. Is that what you call it? I don't know, but
How old is Alex? Mid 20s?
just feel like, what is the purpose of all of this? What am I doing?
Because it sounds like a midlife crisis, but Alex isn't. He must be. What is he, like 20, 23, 24?
What am I trying to even achieve? Will I ever be able to achieve anything? Like, one of my dreams is to maybe someday own a house.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he'll definitely own a house. Definitely. I mean, it depends what his job. I mean, what's his job now? But he's very popular on YouTube. He's got a lot of subscribers, and he gets a lot of hits per channel. Like 20k to 30k, like per vid. So he does very well.
But with the prices of houses these days, it just is a dream that's slowly fading away. I don't
Oh, that's I. Oh wow. I'd like to. There's always time to. There's always time, and he's young. There's plenty of time for him to get a house.
know if I'll ever really get there. Well, where I don't know if I'll ever really get there where I'll be able to own a house of my own. And that's sad because just seeing like
And maybe you could share with a roommate to handle the to halve the load.
what my parents were able to achieve, and you would think that I
I mean, there's no shame in living in an apartment.
would surpass my parents, but
And at least, and Alex doesn't live with his parents. Like he lives by himself. So that in itself is an achievement. There are people in their 30s, 40s, 50s that are still living with their parents.
think it's going to go that way. So in a way, it makes me feel a little bit like a failure. And then just being 30 and
He's
not having a family of your own. I know a lot of people don't, but
Alex isn't 30, is he? I thought he was mid-20s. Then again, I check on Alex's videos, but I don't. They cover other people and not himself. But Alex looks mid-20s to me. He looks mid-20s?
just feels like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like everybody has their family and you're just always the single one and there's not really anyone there for you. So I feel like when I was like poor, I was happier. I don't know why that is. Not that I have like money. I don't really have that much money at all, but I'm not poor. But when I was
Yeah, you can tell he's making a good amount of money.
poor, I feel like I was just happier. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I had like friends back then, but also I had to distance myself from so many people. And this is what they don't talk about when it comes to recovery,
With the rehab.
especially like in that recovery setting. Like I did meet a lot of friends, but most of those people are no longer with us anymore. And the people that I was hanging out with before I got help, I can't really be friends with those people anymore
If they're still involved with the substances.
because they're still stuck in their addictions. So you're kind of left like, I've heard this story time and time again from so many people in sobriety. And it's just like once you put the bottle down, say that that's what it is, you just lose contact with people because that's what your friends want to do. They want to go out to the bar, they want to drink. And if you're not doing that anymore, you don't really fit into the equation. Not to mention the people that pass away from these kinds of things, leaving you to be that survivor. And almost in a way, I feel survivor's guilt because when I say that almost everyone passed away, like literally almost everyone passed away.
That's crazy.
There's like maybe a couple of people in the Facebook group. There's a Facebook
Wow.
group that we have from this facility that I was at that was really just a positive experience for me. Somehow I was able to make it out on the other side. But what
Good for you, Alex.
for? And I was talking about this in therapy, like maybe I just haven't found out. Like I've always been so unable. I remember this time in second grade. Was it second grade? Yeah, it was second grade. We were supposed to do an essay on what we wanted to be when we grew up. And I just was never, I just sat there the whole time and didn't write anything down because I couldn't for the life of me figure out what I wanted to do. And it's just this indecisive.
But it's okay to be indecisive, I think. You don't always need to know what you're doing. Sometimes your calling like reaches out to you and you just find yourself, in that kind of work.
Feeling where you're
Whatever it is.
not making any progress or anything, that is the absolute worst. And that's something that I definitely suffer from. I need to put my foot down and just do what I want to do that makes me happy, but getting there is kind of the hardest part. Like sometimes I'll be looking at people and I'll just wonder, like, what is it like to live with absolutely no mental illness, no anxiety, just being able to go up to someone.
Yeah, I mean, I do that too. I guess most people look at people who they think of as perfect. I mean, if it's strangers, then it will just be by looks, and I'll look at somebody who looks perfect and think, what is that like to look like you?
And talk to them and have a conversation and not be awkward and not be weird. Like, what is it like to be one of those people? Will I ever I guess I'm just
Of course, Alex is not that shallow, not as shallow as I am.
not ever going to be that kind of person. And does anyone else feel this way? Like, I'll be so lonely. I want to meet someone. I want to go on these dating apps or whatever. I mean, how else do you even meet someone these days? It has to be on the internet, right? Or maybe if I go to a meeting
Or Alex, through friends, through a friend of a friend.
or something like that. But I don't want to take the effort.
I'm sure that, you know, YouTube and TikTok and Facebook like hold social events. I'm sure. Maybe he could go along to one of those sometime just to see what it's like.
To get to know someone, even if I did try to go on one of these apps. So it's like I'm feeling this loneliness, and then I don't even want to go and talk to anyone because of my anxiety. I don't like texting. I don't like just those beginning stages of what are you like, what's up, what are you doing, what are you into. Like, if I have to go through that again, I don't want to. I just don't want to go through that again, but I also don't want to be lonely. So it's like I'm gonna have to push myself to go through it, I guess.
Like, get yourself out of your comfort zone.
Not to mention being unhappy with my weight. Like, I have put on a little bit
His weight. He looks so fit. He looks fine to me. But then again, I can only see him from the, you know, the shoulders up, but he looks fine.
of weight recently, probably
Has Alex ever had a weight problem, guys? Because when I've been watching him, he looks fine. Fine weight
like
wise.
10 pounds or so. I'm sitting around like the 180 mark, but I just don't feel healthy. I just feel kind of sluggish, and maybe I should start there. That's what I was thinking, maybe going on like another journey. I know I don't like the word journey either, but going on another journey, going back to, I was doing the intermittent fasting.
Oh, okay. What was that like?
Yeah, I feel like I should definitely go back to the intermittent fasting. But I also like want something in the morning. I always want something like for breakfast just to get the day started. So when you're doing the intermittent fasting, you can't really do that because it would be probably like 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. would be my eating time. And then I need to figure out like some sort of eating plan. I haven't been eating like too bad lately, but not the best either. I could definitely add some more fruits and veggies. I had Chipotle yesterday. That was like the worst experience. I don't know what's going on there. I think they had a new girl. It's fine. I have patience. I'm not gonna like freak out on them, but it was a hot mess. And they need to get their stuff together because that Chipotle has gone so far downhill. I've also been thinking about going back to school, but then again, I'm also like indecisive
That sounds really positive.
of what exactly I want to do. If I was to do that, it would probably be something in a rehab setting, but also I am a little bit weary about doing that, having to live that life of these people. So you're trying to save people, right? But a lot of the times you're unable to save them and they pass away.
It does sound like, as he said, that he does suffer from a lot of survivor's guilt.
But I just wonder like what was different for me, how come I was able to stop. And I really do think that it has a lot to do with the fact that I wasn't using H. I mean, most of the people that I was talking to in these programs and stuff, they were there for H, and that's the reason that they're no longer here with us. Not that other things can't take you out, but that's just the one thing. At one mistake and you're gone. I just feel like I've been so isolated ever since the pandemic. I mean, this is going on 3 years now. Not that I don't go out, right? Like, I still go to stores and stuff and I see my family, but I'm just looking for more than that. Maybe it's time I get back on those dating apps and give it another try. I've pretty much deleted them at this point, or just look at it as a joke. But I also feel like that time that we spent in isolation, like, it took me back so much, like the progress that I had made on my anxiety and things like that, like getting out there, talking to people. I just
What about like a new friendship group, or maybe talking to old friends that you've lost touch with?
feel like I reverted so far back that it's still a struggle to get out there. Like, I can't even go to Target without feeling like a little bit anxious, you know? So in conclusion, all my friends are dead. I'm fat and unhappy. And that's all for today.
Oh my god.
All right, bye guys.
Wow. Like I said, has he thought about getting in touch with old friends? Maybe he must have had, sober friends, friends that weren't happy with the lifestyle he had before. Maybe you could get in touch with them. There were lots of, because of the pandemic, there were a lot of social apps that are just looking for just friendship only. And try to look for people with the same hobbies that he has. Maybe Alex may want to think about taking up a new hobby. A friend of mine went to a ramblers group. It's like a walking group. She's never really walked before, but she went there and said it was quite a good time. Or whatever Alex is into, yoga, sport, cooking, anything. Design, interior design. Any type of hobby that he may be interested in, and that any a new hobby that he'd like to take up, and then maybe he could find friends with that. That's the end of the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.